Hello and welcome back to the Swap-O-Rama here at the Webster Flea Market. My name's Tom and I will be your guide through part 2 of this 3-part series. If you missed part 1, you missed me picking up manga books for a really decent price, as well as working out a deal for some game consoles and a whole bunch of games. Today we're going to get to look at a whole bunch of model trains, as well as a completely random conversation from an absolute stranger.
Thank you.
Now, one of the best parts about reselling is seeing a lot of cool and interesting things everywhere I go, but also things that remind me of my childhood, like these Tonka cars. Granted, these were made way prior to my childhood. When I went to my grandparents' house, I always used to play with that specific model of Tonka car. If you're wondering, it was the orange one, and I was very happy to see it. It brought back a lot of memories today. In the comments down below, if you do resell or you just enjoy buying at flea markets, what's something that you came across from your childhood that brought back a lot of happy memories? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, since this was the first time I was at the Webster Flea Market, I did not know one vendor from another, meaning that there are all different types of sellers here at this flea market. There could be people that are making handmade crafts. Rather than selling on Etsy, they sell in person to everyday people that are coming to enjoy the flea market. You also have people that don't want to host a garage sale at their house, so they'll rent a table and bring all their items here. You also have people that buy storage units, want to clear the contents of those storage units rather quickly.
The only problem is you're going to need to get a cord.
For a reseller, it's a decent price.
Take batteries.
Then you also have fellow resellers like this one, who's already tried to start selling me his calculators at eBay pricing, in which I wasn't necessarily going to get a flip. He might be selling it under eBay retail, but not far enough. He's looking for cash rather than card, because he can easily move on to the next item and resell it.
How much are your Dungeons and Dragons books?
I didn't mean to take his time. I was interested in the Dungeons and Dragons books because I thought he didn't know the pricing on it. He clearly did, and I had to leave everything on these tables behind, but I wanted to move on to see who else I can find here. I wanted to show you this. Look at how curated this booth is. I know this is a monthly rental where they can lock up their storage locker here, and they can then open it up next week when they do the flea market again. But it looked like a GameStop. Granted, all it was eBay pricing, but it was really decent for somebody that was just walking by. Great selection. As you can see on that table, they were selling Hot Wheels for a really decent price. Now, the fun part about reselling for me is that I also get to pick on the West Coast in San Diego, California, at the Kobe Swap Meet. And I've noticed a difference in the East Coast compared to the West Coast, that on the East Coast, Hot Wheels and Matchbox are not as sought after as they are on the West Coast, because I believe car culture is much stronger. You can actually sell it for more on the West Coast than you would the East Coast and get a little bit more profit, just based on that more people drive on the West Coast than the East Coast. So it's fun to see both, and I wanted to share that with all of you. In addition to buying items for a low price and then reselling them for a really decent price on eBay, resellers have other hobbies that involve physical items like the ones we see at flea markets. If we were to buy every single item that we enjoyed for another hobby, we'd probably actually have no room for inventory. I thoroughly enjoy model railroading. If I was to collect everything that I saw, I wouldn't have a house anymore. I love looking at people's layouts and how talented they are putting them together, especially around the holidays. So if I can find anybody to talk to about it, I will.
Do you model N?
I don't have any right now. I can't buy it because people want too much for a use and I can't afford to buy it and sell it.
Gotcha.
I won't buy that garbage from Boston.
No, that's too basic. No, because I used to run this scale, but then I ran out of space, so I switched down to N.
Every once in a while I get some Z, but that don't come too often.
And then, you know who does Z? Oh, I went to Japan a couple years ago, and they have like their frontline stores, and they run Z scale, but they have like full layouts. I've never seen full layouts of Z scale because it's so small. It's tiny.
You almost swallow it for a pill.
Yeah, but you could create so much with it, and it's amazing the detail that they put into it. Huh?
Just don't try to work on it.
Yeah. It's all about a passion. For me, I enjoy it. I have a good time with it. Thank you.
Are you ready for the most awkward interaction ever at a flea market? As I walk down this pathway, a man walks up and tells me a complete story of a Game Boy without ever introducing himself. Enjoy.
You know, one time I had a Nintendo Game Boy.
Yeah?
This is back in early 2000s. I found it at a flea market.
Huh.
It never been opened, still sealed up, and the box was totally.
Do you still have it?
And my son actually found it, and he paid the guy $15 for it. And my son, he said, man, I need that money. I'm broke now. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the $15 back, and then we'll put it on eBay and split the money.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, 2000, so it went for $500.
Yep.
But you know what? That thing's probably worth $5,000 right now, man. I wish I still had it. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
man.
and now people send them in and they get graded like a comic
And it would
book.
have graded high.
Yep.
Hey, it might have.
Exactly.
Hey, you can't win them all, right?
Hey, but you live and learn, you know?
I should have known that stuff's just going to go up and die here. I got a Pac-Man beer mug over there.
I don't think I need a Pac-Man beer mug today, but that story was kind of interesting.
I always lost mine.
Hey, but at the time, I got what it was worth at the time.
Yep. You got the most for what you needed.
That's right. I got what it's worth at the time.
Yeah.
They might be a little more expensive in there because they're like a store type deal with like pops in the box and they're actually.
This comment is geared for those who are just getting into reselling but really focusing in video games. Please be careful when you come across games like this. Now granted, a lot of you know that a lot of these secondhand games aren't worth it, but for those that don't, every video game doesn't carry a supreme value. So don't just buy it on a whim. Please look it up, please give it a comp, because you might be wasting your initial investment and not get it back. Just an FYI. Thank you for watching part 2. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to click that like button. And stay tuned for the epic conclusion of the Swap-O-Rama here at the Webster Flea Market in part 3, where I go over everything that I've purchased and how much I can sell it for. And also, if you have some extra time, please be sure to check out some of these other episodes. Thanks!